Marvel Studios' Captain Marvel has taken the global box office by storm, with Brie Larson's character proving very popular with the majority of viewers. One of the main reasons for that is how awesomely powerful she is, although we're still yet to see the full potential of what she's truly capable of. It's said that she's the most powerful superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, more so than the likes of Thor and Doctor Strange. But it's also fair to say that the MCU is a few tiers below the comics in terms of power levels. With that in mind, we're going to list 10 Marvel characters from the comics, all heroes and no abstract cosmic entities, who are far more powerful than Brie Larson's live-action version of Carol Danvers. One of the Marvel Comics characters who's more powerful than the MCU version of Captain Marvel is her own comic book counterpart, Captain Marvel herself, Carol Danvers. Comic book Danvers essentially has the same power set as her live-action incarnation, only on a much higher scale. She's actually gone by several different superhero names in the comics, including Miss Marvel, Warbird, and Binary, which is her most powerful form. She's strong enough to break out of restraints made out of a mixture of adamantium and vibranium, affect the Hulk and Sentry with her punches, and toss giant meteors out of harm's way. She can punch opponents from Earth into orbit. She can survive energy blasts from Thanos and a Phoenix-empowered magic. She can outreact the likes of Spider-Man in terms of reflexes. And she has a seventh sense that allows her to detect dangerous events before they occur. Most impressive, however, are her energy manipulation powers, which utterly dwarf those of Danvers in the MCU. Comic book Danvers can project, absorb, and control energy of almost any kind. And in her binary form, which taps into the power of a white hole, that control becomes even more refined and powerful, and it also allows her to move at faster-than-light speeds. Quasar has a number of things in common with Brie Larson's Carol Danvers, in the sense that he's a human who, whilst involved with S.H.I.E.L.D., gained cosmic powers that saw him become a protector of the universe. He is Wendell Vaughn, a graduate of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Academy, and although he was deemed capable by higher-ranking members of the organization, he failed as a field operative because he lacked the killer instinct required to succeed as one. However, as a researcher for S.H.I.E.L.D., he found himself collecting data on the quantum bands when the facility he was in was attacked by AIM, and he became a hero in his own right on that day. After already having witnessed a test pilot die trying too hard to use them, Vaughn put them on anyway to defend himself. It worked, as he decided to just go with the flow. His lack of conviction, which previously worked against him, was exactly what was required in this case. He became Quasar, a character who's essentially a Green Lantern with Marvel branding, and he is massively powerful. He can fly, teleport, create complex hard-light constructs, and most importantly, manipulate energy on a scale that makes Carol Danvers' energy-based powers look like child's play. For instance, he has redirected the cosmic energy wielded by the likes of Thanos, the Silver Surfer, and Adam Warlock. While she's yet to prove herself to be more powerful than Chris Hemsworth's Thor in the MCU, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is expected to prove herself to be his superior over the course of her next few appearances, starting with Avengers Endgame.
I like this one.
However, it's unlikely she'll ever become more powerful than the comic book version of Thor, who is in fact a massively powerful individual.
Fortunately, I am mighty.
As the Asgardian god of thunder, his physical strength is just incredible. He's easily on par with comic book Hulk, and his punches can destroy mountains and shatter even the most powerful force fields. He's durable enough to resist forces akin to those of a neutron star, blasts designed to destroy planets, and energy blasts fired by celestials. He can also fly, can react faster than the speed of a bullet, and of course summon powerful bolts of lightning and control the weather in general. But comic book Thor has a bunch of more complex powers to boot. Mjolnir enables him to time travel, teleport, control magnetic fields, erect force fields, summon the dead, create antimatter, hypnotize people, heal people, transmute objects, absorb, project, and redirect energy, and it even has tracking powers, as well as a whole host of other crazy stuff. He's a lot more versatile than his MCU counterpart, and a whole lot more powerful than the MCU's Captain Marvel. Although his arrival is imminent, Adam Warlock has yet to appear in the MCU, so we don't know how the live-action version of the character will compare to Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. What we do know, however, is that the comic book version of Warlock is a lot more powerful than the live-action version of Carol Danvers. He has the physical strength to power his way out of Thanos' grasp, the speed to dodge lasers and fly across a sun in the time it takes to have a brief conversation, the durability to take shots from Thor and even Galactus, and is functionally immortal. He can create a cocoon for self-preservation and regeneration purposes. He can manipulate cosmic energy on a massive scale, and he can use a phenomenon called quantum magic, which enables him to create force fields, teleport, create wormholes, and manifest matter from nothing, amongst other things. Like Vision in the MCU, Warlock has also been known to have an infinity gem in his forehead. In his case, the Soul Gem, which grants him the ability to resurrect the dead, perform exorcisms, and view the aura and soul of others. Jean Grey is, of course, the Omega-level mutant member of the X-Men, who will be the main character in this year's X-Men Dark Phoenix. And she's an insanely powerful character in the comics who makes MCU Captain Marvel look extremely weak in comparison. Grey's powers are psionic, meaning they're based in and controlled by her mind, and they include both telepathy and telekinesis. Using her telepathy, she has overpowered the minds of fellow powerful telepaths, including Professor X and Apocalypse. She has also managed to successfully invade the minds of the Juggernaut and Magneto, both of whom wear helmets designed specifically to keep telepaths out. And she even shut down the human side of Hulk's mind to turn him into a being of pure, unadulterated rage. With her telekinesis, she can control matter at the molecular level, and block attacks from the likes of Black Bolt and Abomination. Heck, she even shielded herself from a blast from Binary, which is Carol Danvers in her most powerful planet-busting form. She can also astral project, and her astral form has hurt the likes of Iron Man and even Gladiator. But when she merges with the Phoenix Force, a cosmic force of nature, her powers massively increase, to the point that she can easily defeat the likes of Galactus. Doctor Strange is without a doubt Marvel's most well-known sorcerer, and he's far more powerful than Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. Benedict Cumberbatch plays a formidable version of the character in the MCU, but it's fair to say that he's absolutely nowhere near his comic book counterpart on the power scale. His skills with the mystic arts include things like teleporting, traversing dimensions, astral projection, force field generation, energy blasts, levitation and flight, mind control, the casting of illusions, and cosmic awareness. Some of his most impressive feats include invoking powerful beings like Ragador and Sidorak to protect himself and entrap opponents, for example, holding his own against Adam Warlock while Warlock was wielding the completed Infinity Gauntlet, breaking restraints put in place by the Living Tribunal, the second most powerful being in the entire Marvel Universe, and defeating the incredibly powerful cosmic being known as the In-Betweener. He simply operates on a different tier of power to MCU's Captain Marvel, and he's much more versatile than she could ever hope to be. The Silver Surfer is often underrated in terms of his strength, but he's actually one of the most powerful heroes in comic books.
Oh, that is cool.
And he's considerably more powerful than MCU's Captain Marvel. For starters, having been empowered as a herald of the planet-eating Galactus, the being whose real name is Norrin Radd is incredibly fast. Some people think his quickness is only due to his board's travel speed, but he has feats of thinking, moving, and reacting within nanoseconds. And he's been known to exceed the speed of light by several orders of magnitude. Also, even though he's not known for his physical strength, he's overpowered the Hulk before. And his durability is such that he can take punches from the likes of the Big Green Guy and She-Hulk without flinching. Heck, he can even survive being inside the extremely harsh environment of a black hole with ease. But it's his more esoteric powers that really impress. For example, he can manipulate, create, and absorb energy and radiation of all kinds. But his use of the power cosmic also gives him transmutation abilities. Time travel, the ability to phase through objects, illusion casting, and portal generation. He could slaughter Brie Larson's character before her brain even processed a neuron. Gladiator, the member of the Strontian species who is also known as Kallark, is far more powerful than MCU's Captain Marvel. He's basically Marvel's Superman, but with the same power set as the Man of Steel amplified considerably. Take his strength level, for example. He regularly lifts large buildings and ships with ease, but he's also shattered entire planets with his punches. In terms of his durability, he's flown through stars unscathed and completely oblivious to the raging nuclear inferno that engulfed him. Heck, he even flew through one star that was 100 million miles wide. When it comes to his speed, he's been clocked flying at warp speed, which is 100 times the speed of light. And he once blitzed Thor, who's extremely fast in the comics, so quickly that the God of Thunder didn't know what hit him and couldn't retaliate. He also has freeze breath and heat vision powers, and his heat vision is especially powerful, as it's been described as hotter than a star. And bear in mind, Gladiator's powers are strongly linked to his confidence levels, and he spends most of his life doubting himself. Just imagine how powerful he is when he's fully confident. The Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda Maximoff, is classically a mutant. We say classically because that depends on the comic, and she's also been depicted as having received her powers courtesy of the being known as the High Evolutionary. And her main power is the ability to manipulate chaos magic for a variety of incredible effects. She is considered to be one of the most powerful characters in Marvel Comics, and as such is much more powerful than the MCU's Captain Marvel. And indeed considerably more powerful than her own MCU counterpart, who's played by Elizabeth Olsen. Her powers are known as hexes, and they give her the ability to alter probabilities and even play with the very fabric of reality itself. She can erect force fields, fire energy blasts, cast illusions, levitate, fly, astral project, and use telekinesis. Her most impressive feats include annihilating Ultron with a single blast, transmogrifying Thor's lightning, and even defeating the Dark Phoenix alongside Hope Summers. At her most powerful, she was even able to wipe most of the mutants from the world simply by saying, "No more mutants." When Sentry, who is otherwise known as Robert Reynolds, first appeared in Marvel's comics, his entire shtick was that he was a former hero who had used his massive telepathic powers to wipe the memories of himself from the minds of everyone on Earth. His mental powers are that powerful. They even worked on the various other telepaths on Marvel Earth. Now consider the fact that telepathy isn't even Sentry's most potent power, and you'll realize he's far more powerful than the MCU's Captain Marvel. His powers stemmed from a super soldier serum that was infinitely more powerful than the one given to Captain America, which granted him the strength of 1 million exploding stars. He is everything Captain Marvel is and more, and on a considerably higher tier of power. Strength-wise, he has done things like lifted a Celestial, torn through the crimson bands of Sidorak, and casually stopped a swing of Terrax's planet-destroying axe one-handed. He's super strong, can fly, and has energy manipulation powers that dwarf those of Carol Danvers. In fact, his energy flares could be seen in a full-sized world from the Microverse. In MCU terms, that's like being able to see him manipulating energy from the quantum realm in the full-size world. He's arguably the most powerful Avenger ever, and that makes the MCU's Captain Marvel's powers almost irrelevant in comparison. Did you realize so many comic book characters were so much more powerful than the MCU's Captain Marvel? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to ScreenRant for more great videos just like this one. Bye for now.